their seat in the well? Would everyone please take their seat in the well? Thank you. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Griffin.
Here.
Bishop. Conwell. Gray. Hairston. Harsh. House Jones. Jones. Casey. Kelly. Moorer. McCormack. Polensik. Santana. Slife. Spencer. Starr. You have a quorum, Mr. President.
Thank you. Will everyone rise for a moment of silence, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance? Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'll make the following statement. This meeting of Cleveland City Council is a lawful meeting. Under Section 605.04 of the Codified Ordinances, no person with purpose to prevent or disrupt a lawful meeting shall do any act which constructs or interferes with the due conduct of such meeting. Members of the public are invited to speak only under the rules set by this council. Disruptions, including but not limited to speaking out of turn and making loud noises and loud utterances, are in violation of the rules and interfere with the due conduct of this lawful meeting. Such disruptions may constitute a misdemeanor and a violation of Section 605.04. Anyone who disrupts this lawful meeting in violation of the codified ordinances commits misdemeanors and is subject to prosecution. The following is the first and only warning. If this meeting is disrupted, I will gavel a halt to the proceedings and direct the assembled officers to escort any person participating in this disruption out of the chamber. Once persons participating in the disruption are outside of the chambers, the officers will close the door and the disruptors will be handled as directed by the Director of Public Safety. The council proceedings will not begin again until those that participated in the disruption have left the chamber and the chamber doors are closed. Disruptors will not be allowed back in the chamber after the meeting resumes. Again, this is the first and only warning. Madam Clerk, please dispense with the journal.
By Councilmember Santana, that the reading of the minutes of the last meeting be dispensed with, the journal approved. Seconded by Councilmember McCormack.
Thank you. Are there any communications?
File number 319-2025 from Denise Blake, Vice President, St. Mary Development Corporation. Notice of intent to apply to Ohio Housing Finance Agency for multifamily funding programs for the development known as Hub 27 Senior Lofts, located at 2500 West 27th Street, Ward 3. File number 321-2025 from Denise Blake, Vice President, St. Mary Development Corporation. Notice of intent to apply to Ohio Housing Finance Agency for multifamily funding programs for the development known as Hub 27 Phase 3, located at 2500 West 27th Street, Ward 3. File number 322-2025 from Council President Blaine A. Griffin, designating without objection by Council Alan Dreyer to serve as Clerk of Council Pro Tem for matters requiring the clerk's signature between March 10th to the 13th, 2025. File number 340-2025 from Gina Merritt, Principal, Northern Real Estate Urban Ventures, LLC. Notice of intent to apply to Ohio Housing Finance Agency for multifamily funding programs for the development known as MLK Plaza Phase 1A, located at 9300 Wade Park Avenue, Ward 7. From the Ohio Division of Liquor Control, file number 318-2025, regarding a stock transfer application at 2418 Professor Avenue, Ward 3. File number 320-2025, regarding a transfer of ownership application at 15521 St. Clair Avenue, Ward 8. File number 337, 2025, regarding a transfer of ownership application at 11217 Detroit Avenue, Ward 15.
All right. Are there any condolence resolutions?
Resolutions of condolence by Councilmember Gray for Christine Rucker, Councilmember Griffin for Reverend Fred Carmichael, by Councilmember Gray for Barbara Calhoun Hassan, by Councilmember Gray for Mary Lee Roberts, by Councilmember Griffin for Alan Jerome Pratt, Sr., by Councilmember Gray for Beatrice Heinzman White, by Councilmember Griffin for Willa P. Sardin, by Councilmember Casey for Dino Baskovic, by Councilmember Griffin for Shirley A. Smith, by Councilmember House Jones for Roosevelt Oliver. That was all.
Thank you. Are there any other condolence resolutions? Any other condolence resolutions? Councilwoman House Jones.
Yes, we're still waiting, but Kevin Cronin, our condolence for Kevin Cronin.
So noted.
Thank you. Any other condolence resolutions? Seeing no other, council members, please rise for a moment of silence. Thank you. Are there any congratulatory resolutions?
Resolutions of congratulations by Councilmember Gray for Gladys May Kelly Reed, by Councilmember Jones for Dr. William Walker, National Negro Golf Association, by Councilmember Conwell for Naomi Chapman, by Councilmember Slife for Puritas Nursery, by Councilmember House Jones for Henry Picterna, by Councilmember resolutions of recognition by Councilmember Conwell for Officer Kelly Gabriel, by Councilmember Polensik for Beachland Ballroom, by Councilmember Conwell for James R. Willis, by Councilmember Griffin for Nowruz Celebration, by Councilmember Conwell for Suleiman Mumin and Samir Mumin, by Councilmember Conwell for Mo Salam, by Councilmember Conwell for Sadiq Ali, by Councilmember Conwell for Idayat Sambo, by Councilmember Conwell for Masjid Bilal, by Councilmember Conwell for Nadar Hamdan, by Councilmember Conwell for Imam Abbas Ahmad, by Councilmember Conwell for Sana Hicks, by Councilmember Conwell for Valiant Mason Khalil Bryant.
Thank you. First reading, emergency ordinances referred for administrative review and committee review.
Ordinance 323, 2025, by Councilmember Griffin by departmental request to amend Section 143.06 of the codified ordinances relating to applications for and acceptance of fellowship and intern grants and other finding and services from any public or private entity to add apprenticeship grants. Ordinance 325, 2025, by Councilmembers Casey and Griffin by departmental request, authorizing Director of Public Utilities to enter into one or more contracts with Oracle America for the hosting and managed services support associated with the Oracle Customer Care and Billing System for the Divisions of Water and Cleveland Public Power, Department of Public Utilities for a period of 2 years with 2 one-year options to renew, exercisable by the Director of Public Utilities. Ordinance 326, 2025, by Councilmembers McCormack and Griffin by departmental request, authorizing the Director of Port Control to enter into one or more requirement contracts without competitive bidding with ADB, Safegate Americas, LLC, for the purchase of equipment, parts, labor, and required services needed to maintain operational compliance of the airfield lighting control systems, including replacement parts and software for the Division of Airports, Department of Port Control, for a period not to exceed 2 years with 2 one-year options to renew, exercisable by the Director of Port Control. Ordinance 327, 2025, by Councilmembers Bishop and Hairston by departmental request, authorizing the Director of Capital Projects to issue a permit to Northeast Ohio Regional Sewer District to encroach into the public right-of-way of Central Avenue by constructing, installing, operating, and maintaining a new pump station. Ordinance 328, 2025, by Council Members McCormack, Bishop, and Hairston, by departmental request, authorizing Director of Capital Projects to issue a permit to Cleveland Public Library to encroach into the public right-of-way of Superior Avenue by installing and maintaining an Ohio historical marker mounted on a 10-foot tall octagonal post with a foundation. Ordinance 329, 2025, by Council Members McCormack, Bishop, and Hairston, by departmental request, authorizing Director of Capital Projects to issue a permit to Nautica Entertainment, LLC, to encroach into the public right-of-way of Elm Street by installing, using, and maintaining a new egress stairway and entry canopy. Ordinance 330, 2025, by Council Members Polensek and Griffin, by departmental request, authorizing Director of Public Safety to enter into one or more agreements with Case Western Reserve University for professional services necessary to continue implementation of a data collection and analysis process for the Division of Police, Department of Public Safety, for a period of 1 year with 2 one-year options to renew, exercisable by the Director of Public Safety. Ordinance 331, 2025, by Council Members Casey and Griffin, by departmental request, authorizing the Director of Public Utilities to employ one or more professionals to develop, market, implement, and manage the Residential Service Contract and Protection Plan Program for the Division of Water and Water Pollution Control for a period of 4 years with 2 one-year options to renew, exercisable through additional legislative authority, and to extend contract 2020-265 with HomeServe for a period or periods not to exceed a total of 1 year. Ordinance 332, 2025, by Council Members Casey and Griffin, by departmental request, authorizing the purchase by one or more requirement contracts of water main, fire hydrants, service connections, valves, and appurtenances for the Division of Water, and one or more requirement contracts for concrete repair, tree lawn restoration, pavement restoration, including but not limited to materials, labor, and installation as necessary for the Divisions of Water, Water Pollution Control, Cleveland Public Power, Department of Public Utilities for a period or periods not to exceed a total of 2 years. Ordinance 338, 2025, by Council Members Hairston and Griffin, by departmental request, authorizing the Director of Building and Housing to enter into one or more contracts with Crow LLP for professional services necessary to perform lead-safe auditor services for a period of 3 years.
Thank you. First reading emergency ordinances to be passed.
Ordinance 339, 2025, by Councilmember Griffin, by departmental request, to amend sections 35, 36, 40, and 41 of Ordinance 194, 2021, as amended, relating to compensation for various classifications.
Thank you. Read the motion to suspend the rules.
By Councilmember Santana, that the rules be suspended and the legislation just read be placed on final passage, seconded by Councilmember McCormack.
Call the roll.
Griffin, Bishop, Conwell, Gray, Hairston, Harsh, House, Jones, Casey, Kelly, Moore, McCormack, Polensek, Santana, Slife, Spencer, Starr. 14 yeas.
Call the roll on passage.
Griffin, Bishop, Conwell, Gray, Hairston, Harsh, House, Jones, Casey, Kelly, Moore, McCormack, Polensek, Santana, Slife, Spencer, Starr. 14 yeas.
Thank you. First reading emergency resolutions referred for administrative review and committee review.
Resolution 324, 2025, by Councilmembers Conwell and Griffin, supporting National Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month and declaring the month of March as Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month annually in the city of Cleveland to help raise awareness and encourage people to begin colon cancer screening at age 45, as recommended by the American Cancer Society. Resolution 333, 2025, by Councilmember Conwell, strongly encouraging Cleveland Metropolitan School District to install school bus stop armed safety cameras that will capture drivers who fail to stop when the bus stop arm is out and pass school buses that are loading and unloading children.
Thank you. First reading emergency resolutions to be adopted.
Resolution 334, 2025, by Councilmember House Jones, objecting to a transfer of location of a D1, D2, D3, D3A liquor permit to 2400 Superior Avenue. Resolution 335, 2025, by Councilmember Harsh, withdrawing objection to the renewal of a D1, D2, D3, D3A, and D6 liquor permit at 4818-22 Memphis Avenue patio and repealing Resolution 702, 2024, objecting to said renewal. Resolution 336, 2025, by Councilmember Casey, withdrawing objection to the transfer of ownership of a C1, C2 liquor permit at 3038 West 117th Street and repealing Resolution 954, 2024, objecting to said permit.
Thank you. Read the motion to suspend the rules.
By Councilmember Santana, that the rules be suspended and the legislation just read be placed on final passage. Seconded by Councilmember McCormack.
Thank you. Call the roll.
Griffin, Bishop, Conwell, Gray, Hairston, Harsh, House Jones, Jones, Casey, Kelly, Moore, McCormack, Polensek, Santana, Slife, Spencer, Starr. 15 yeas.
Thank you. Call the roll on adoption.
Griffin, Bishop, Conwell, Gray, Hairston, Harsh, House Jones, Jones, Casey, Kelly, Moore, McCormack, Polensek, Santana, Slife, Spencer, Starr. 15 yeas.
Thank you. Third reading emergency ordinance to be passed.
Ordinance 156, 2025, as amended by Councilmember Griffin by departmental request to make appropriations and provide current expenses for the daily operation of all municipal departments of the City of Cleveland for fiscal year from January 1, 2025 until December 31st, 2025.
Thank you. Call the roll on passage.
Griffin, Bishop, Conwell, Gray, Hairston, Harsh, House Jones, Jones, Casey, Kelly, Moore, McCormack, Polensek, Santana, Slife, Spencer, Starr. 15 yeas.
Thank you. Are there any introductions? Any introductions? I'll take a moment to introduce the former director of ODOT, Myron Posick. If he could stand, Myron. Thank you. Any other introductions? Councilman Kerry McCormick.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and forgive my voice. Had a lot of great activities yesterday in downtown Cleveland. I wanted to welcome the new city planning director, Director Kelly Mersman. This is her first meeting.
Are there any other introductions? I know that we want to make sure that we always acknowledge Ms. Mersman. I know that I've sent her a lengthy email already, so the honeymoon period is over. But I do also want to make sure that we acknowledge the outgoing director for home services. I want to make sure we acknowledge her. I think she's done a great job. I apologize, I'm having a senior moment.
Marka?
Not Marka, Emily Collins. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you. I'm having a senior moment, but I just want to give a moment to acknowledge Emily Collins. Emily done a great job. And I tried to convince her to come to the last council meeting, but you know, you guys could be hard on people sometimes. But no, we want to acknowledge her. Mayor, she was a great hire, and she did a great job working with council, so thank you. And thank you if she's listening on all of our behalf. Any other introductions? Any other introductions? Announcements. Any other announcements? Councilman Kevin Conwell.
Thank you, Mr. President. This Saturday at the Arnold Pinckney site that you have to champion, East Professional Center, at East 79th to Superior, Councilwoman Stephanie, Stephanie House, my wife, Councilwoman Yvonne Conwell, and I are sponsoring a utility fair to deal with utilities in the community, and it's with Northeastern Ohio Regional Sewer District. The fair and event is from 9 a.m. until noon. Now, I reached out to the school district also, and I mentioned to them we need to start having these utility fairs, Mr. President and Mr. Mayor, in the schools. Because what you have children that they come to the schools, and some of the children don't have utilities on, no running water. And some of the children, sometimes, Mr. Mayor, they go to school just to get a bath because of no utilities in their household. And then you try to educate and you try to teach them, and you can't because they're not focused on that. They're focused on, I got a house that's too hot in the summertime, too cold in the wintertime, on a lot of abject poverty. So the Northeastern Ohio Regional Sewer District, I reached out to Jackie Muhammad. I'm going to talk with her as well as Dr. Morgan so that we can start having these events and fairs in our public schools so it could benefit our children. That's first thing first. So thank you very much. Once again, is this Saturday from 9 a.m. to noon, where? At the Arnold Pinckney School on East 79th and Superior. East Vocational School, right out there on Superior. So you could bring your friends. It's not only for Glenville and Huff, it's for everybody. And thank you very much on that. And I'll be up again later on some
Thank
school
you.
issues.
And I know that me and Councilwoman Gray and several other members have done it. Those are one of the best utility fairs out here. So thank you for putting that together, Councilman. And, you know, people can go to other folks' ward in order to attend these fairs. So it's welcome to everybody in those city. Any miscellaneous? Any miscellaneous? Councilman Kevin Conwell.
I should have stayed up for the miscellaneous, but when you went, I need your help, Brian Casey. Here's the thing that's going on in our city, and I was just talking with the safety chair about it. The laws of the traffic, there's no laws for the traffic. I mean, you know, you have pedestrians just speeding, breaking the laws constantly. As you know, we talked about it, speeding through the stop signs. They see the light is red. You know what they do, Councilmember Brian Casey? They run the light. They just shoot straight through. And then when they see the arm come out, safety director, at the school buses, you know what happened? They go around the school buses and they put our children at risk. And sometimes all the time, you gotta be sick and tired of that. So this legislation that I'm asking the city council, matter of fact, the chairman, Councilmember Mike Polensik said, Kev, I read that, put me in on the legislation, which is very, very important. This legislation that I'm pushing deals with traffic enforcement. When our children, and many of you have seen it, when they get off the school bus, they unload and get off the school bus or get on the school bus, the arm comes out that says stop. And guess what? They go right around it. And they'll go right around you. And guess what they're doing, Mr. Mayor? They're putting our children at risk. They're putting our children at risk. But with the camera safety program that could go on the arms or the stop arms, it would change the driver's behavior because only reason they're doing it because they feel there's no police officers or no one that's watching them. Our job as legislators is to write policy for people that live and work and travel to the city of Cleveland. So with this piece of legislation also, Mr. President, Mr. Mayor, and to this body, will fine you up to $250 for doing that. That will change your behavior. And then what you do with the money, you create a safe camera fund, and the money will go into that, and that way the schools will be able to purchase cameras or do preventive maintenance on cameras because the money will flow back in. Now, there's other cities that's already doing this, and the question is, why does it take Cleveland so long? And here's the thing, when the children see that, they know we are fighting for them because they are our residents as well. And they gotta see us fighting for them. And it would change the behavior if the cars know right now that we're sitting in this body discussing how to find them to change their behavior and to protect our children that's in the city of Cleveland. That's what this legislation is about. So I'm gonna ask Me and the safety chair, Michael Polensik, we're going to ask everyone else to sign up for it so we can move forward with this. And I thank you. I thank you very, very much. If I seem passionate about this, I am very, very, very passionate about protecting our children. Thank you very much, and I always say, and God bless.
Thank you, Councilman. Any other miscellaneous? Seeing no other miscellaneous, Madam Clerk, please excuse the absences.
By Councilmember Santana, that the absence of Council members Spencer and Starr are hereby excused, seconded by Councilmember McCormack.
Thank you. Council is adjourned to the next regular meeting on March 24th, 2025.